Hey, this is James from Read More Comics. This past weekend, I happened to have an opportunity to go to a local con, and I picked up a stack of books. Love to share what I have. As always, if you enjoy listening to me to ramble on about my collection and comic book hunting, please do like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell up in the corner so you get notifications when I post a new video. So this past weekend, I went to the Midwest Comic Con, and a caveat, if you will. If you Google Midwest Comic Con, you will find this particular convention, but it's more of a dealer convention. So from what I've gathered, because this is definitely a throwback to cons prior to me collecting or having much experience with comic books other than reading. This is what conventions would have been like probably in the 80s, where the focus was not so much on other media. It wasn't about movies, other collectibles. It wasn't about cosplay. It was just about comic book dealers coming out and selling books. This was set up at a Comfort Inn on the west side of South Bend. I've been to it before. They usually have a few and shows in the loosest sense of the word a year, usually like one earlier in the year, maybe in the summer, and then one later in the year. Um, I wasn't able to make their last con, which was probably advantageous because last year when I went, I didn't find many books. I was, no, this would have been earlier this year. So I think they must have 3 shows a year. They come in the area. They kind of have a circuit that the guy running it goes on. Anyway, the last time I went, I was focused only on getting books related to my Batman Volume 1 goal. And when I went in, that was kind of it too, because I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Uh, and I hit dealers that might have those books first, and then went through all the they're not even dollar bins. I ended up getting almost 50 books for it was 20 bucks. So let me share what I got. This is a all cash sales. As I said, it's in a Comfort Inn. They rent out a large room. In the middle, they have all the organizers, cheap boxes. I ended up spending like less than 50 cents a book. It was like 46 or 47 cents a book. And then on the outside perimeter, this is where other dealers set up renting tables and putting out long boxes. And those are usually where you find your money books and graded books. I did that circuit first, was looking exclusively for Batman books. There was one dealer I'd purchased some books last time, and he had a couple, and those averaged out to be about $5 a book. And then after I saw he didn't have any other Batman books I was looking for, I did look for, uh, excuse me, I did look for some other runs that I am on the cusp of completing. So did find a couple Batman books. We have Batman 701. And then for me, the annuals do count as part of the collection. I know some collectors, the annuals are kind of just an afterthought. But for me, I think it is definitely a part of the story. Though in volume one, what I'm noticing they're doing, they near the end of volume one, a lot of their annuals focused on rather than being a continuation or a side story. Some of them are just Elseworlds stories. I think that was DC kind of pushing that. And I'm looking at this cover, and it kind of strikes me as that this doesn't look like a part of the continuity of Batman Volume 1. It looks like kind of an outside of that, like almost an Elseworlds book. So this is Batman Annual number 20. And then they had some sub 400 books. My goal is 400 to 713. And so I flipped through those real quick because I ended up I'd set aside some money for this, and I had money left over, and I knew I was not going to spend that much on the dollar bins or 50-cent bins, if you will. So this cover stuck out to me. I'm seeing that after I achieve my volume one goal, I'll end up kind of begin backtracking, going through the 300s and 200s. And to be realistic, I imagine I'm probably going to end up stalling out on the Batman Volume 1 run um, somewhere around 200. If I'm really dedicated, I think I can get it to 100, but that's going to require me to make some changes in my comic book collecting habits, which isn't un impossible. It's just something where I would have to be a more focused collector, and I would need to budget my comic book purchases differently because those get to be a little salty. Anyway, so this is Batman 396. I just thought that was an awesome cover, so I picked that one up. Rom is another title that I'm very close to completing. I think now I have only 5 books. They had 2 issues that I needed. We got Rom issue number 35. And this one is in awesome condition. And when you see the cover, you'll understand why condition is so important to this one. This is Rom Space Knight number 61. And those black covers, they show dings so easily, show any issues. And that's not the case for this issue at all. It's a really clean copy, really sharp corners, no spine ticks, no color breaks. So altogether, these right here. They worked out to be about $5 a piece. Batman 396 was a little bit more expensive. I think that might have been a $10 book. But with all the other books, they averaged out to be $5 a piece. I ended up paying $19 for all of these, and I thought that was a reasonable price. So let me put these out of the way. Now the rest of them, and this is a mammoth stack. You see right here. Okay, these are all books that I was either looking for as run fillers, and this is all run fillers, or they were just things that stuck out to me that I went, I want this to be a part of my collection. Okay, let me kind of separate this out. This first pile here, this pile, which is the largest single part of it, all involve Aquaman. And I think what I'm going to begin doing for the time being, this is kind of a long-term goal. I've been listening to some other podcasts, watching some other YouTube videos, and Bronzeville Comics was talking about the different key characters in the DC IP, their mythology. And most of the big characters, like Batman, for example, I will never be able to go all the way to issue number 1. Batman number 1 is always going to be well outside of my budget, unless as a teacher I suddenly become a multimillionaire, which that's realistically not going to happen. So realistically, there's going to be a financial threshold I cannot cross, a ceiling to what I'm going to be able to purchase. But looking at all the other major characters, Wonder Woman's the same, Superman's the same. Aquaman, though, is not. And so with some discipline, I'll be able to pick this up. And so right now I'm just low-key collecting all of the Aquaman volumes with the intent in a few years, once I kind of fill in all the filler books, to really kind of lean in and finish that title. So this is, I want to say this is Aquaman volume, I think this is volume 4 or 5. And what makes Aquaman as a title really collectible is that volume 2 through all the way to the current volume, and hey, caveat, I'm sorry, ears itching. They just announced at New York Comic Con that there's going to be a new volume of Aquaman coming out in 2025, which will be cool. I think Aquaman is a character that DC has struggled finding footing for, and getting the right creative team, the right art, the right writer who knows how to handle him. I've been a fan of Aquaman all the way back to Super Friends. Aquaman had a cool power. I know he's ridiculed for having fish telepathy, but back in the 70s as a kid, that was a cool power. And he rode a seahorse, and then he had that that kind of like water bike thing. That was super cool. And then I remember this was late 70s. Underoos hit the scene. I had Aquaman Underoos. I wish as an adult I could find those. So this is like an important character to my childhood because of that. And I'm really, as an adult, I've enjoyed the Aquaman movies. Even the last one with Jason Momoa, I know it was kind of panned. I loved it. And I think the character is a strong character in the DC pantheon of characters. I mean, it's not one of the Trinity. He's not in the big three, but he's important. So I think this is Aquaman Volume 4, I think. Okay. I'll fix that if it's not right. So we have issue number 7 and issue number 11. Okay, this came out in the 80s, right? And then here is a streak of Aquaman books from the next volume, and I'll post below what volume this is. So we have issue number 3, um, kind of dates when this is happening. So we're looking late 80s, early 90s. This is when Aquaman lost his hand. Issue number 8, issue number 14, issue number 16. And this totally screams 90s art right there. Like everybody is just jacked up and ripped. And then issue number 21. That's honestly a cool book, a cool looking cover. And I think this is part of, and I need to learn more about this particular part of the run. Larry David, I know, had his thumbprint on this for a while. And then we have books in the next volume. And this, I think, was the longest volume, and it kind of splintered off into Aquaman and sort of Atlantis when with Buziak. Okay, so we have issue number 8. Very cool looking cover there. Issue number 10. This one reminded me of a Magnolia cover, but it's not. Robinson did it. I don't know who Robinson is. So this is early 2000. Right here it says 2003. Issue number 11. Issue number 49. And we can see up here, this is when the title changes. And then this is the last one, issue number 55. So, it's a little start, but I've seen early Aquaman stuff, and we're talking like volume 2 going up because it's all 80s and 90s, 2000 books in dollar bins all over the place. And so I just need to lean into that now as I'm looking. And again, going to be a low-key collection. The next 2 are part of the New 52 Catwoman run. There's multiple books that are helping me with some New 52 books. As I've shared before, this is when I began cutting my teeth as an adult collector. New 52 was an on-ramp for me to get back into comic books. And I found that there are several titles that are related to Batman. A lot of the Batman events that Scott Snyder and Capullo would do would connect to these other ones. And Catwoman was one of them. And I really enjoyed those stories. And so, again, just trying to get those titles. So we got Catwoman 48. And this is Catwoman 41. And I already have issue number 41. But this is, right over here. This is a part of the 75th anniversary of Joker. And they came out in that month with variant covers involving Joker as the theme. And so anytime I can grab those, I do, because I thought they were super cool. Okay. They're a lot of fun. And one of the things that New 52, I think, did well is that they had some variant covers. They weren't ratio covers. You could buy them for the asking price on the corner of the book, what was this? Was this $2.99? Do you remember when comic books cost $2.99, kids? And they were fun. And I wish that's something that DC would bring back. I remember they did Lego covers. They did selfie covers. Anyway, so next up, we have an issue of Detective Comics. This is the New 52 run. This is issue number 12. The next volume is After Rebirth. This is part of the countdown to 1000. I am looking at any of the Tomasi run on Detective because he really, with Gleason, really encapsulated and engaged me with uh, Damian Wayne as Robin. And so oftentimes Damian Wayne would show up in Tomasi books. And so this is a part of that, his Detective Comics run. This is issue 995. This one was just, I saw the cover and I have no intention of collecting the rest of the run, but it's an awesome cover. So this is Wonder Woman New 52 volume. This is by the Finches, but they did these sideways Darwin Cook variants. And I don't have this, but I have a lot of the other covers for titles that I was collecting at the time, like Batman and Justice League. And I just think, here, let's put this over here. It's a gorgeous cover. Darwin Cook had talent that he had polished, and I think a particular style that just really stands out. I think that's why I'm attracted to the art of Chris Samney, because I see some parallels in their style, and that's all a good thing. Anyway, this is just, it was a cover grab. I'm starting to get into, again, kind of low key. It's not a priority, but when I stumble upon them in dollar boxes, picking them up, there are a couple 90s image titles, and I'm not looking for all of them because I think some of them are caricatures at this point. But one of them that I remember enjoying at the time, I remember the cartoon and it was kind of over the top, is Jim Lee's Wildcats. So this is issue number 2, which has it was a foily cover, a gorgeous foily cover. And this one was in immaculate condition. And I went, well, I'm going to pick that up. And I remember reading something, I think it was, maybe it was, I heard it on a podcast. Anyway, with Wildcats, because of how the writing went, it was a podcast. Uh, when you get a new creative team, it's like a whole new group. So I'm just looking for this initial run. Anyway, so here we have Wildcats, issue number 2 by Jim Lee, and was that? I'm not sure who the writer was. Let's see if we get that. Oh, look at that! That is gorgeous, isn't it? Anyway, so I'm looking at picking that up. Wildcats is a dollar book every day of the week. We have one issue of my Brubaker Captain America run that they had. Didn't expect this. This is not a key. I'm down to a few minor keys. Only need like 5 or 6 issues for this, though, in this volume. Issue number 612. Then we have some Defenders volumes. And the only reason these are on my hunt list in CLZ is because Silver Surfer's in them. And I really dig Silver Surfer. And so I'm looking for those titles that are cost effective for me to purchase, and at like 46 cents a piece. This is it. So we got Defenders number 6. I'm sorry, number 7. Number 8. It's the awesome Silver Surfer run. That has a really cool retro look to it. Get my hand off of Doctor Strange's face. We have Silver Surfer number 9. Kind of just really cool retro vibes on this particular title. Number 10, Silver Surfer right there. And number 11. This was a 12 issue run, and now I have 7 issues. So I'll just be looking for those. Right prior to this, Matt Fraction and the Dodsons, so Rachel and Terry, did a Defenders title with Silver Surfer, though he's not on the cover. So I found 1 issue of that. Have some other Silver Surfer books. When I saw this, I thought in my mind, I think I already have this. But CLZ said, no, you don't have this. It's not the app. CLZ saves me so much money because I don't buy over and over again the books I need. I just need to make sure I'm accurately putting in the information. I scan the books. I don't accidentally put them in as I want the direct, and I end up with the indirect, whatever. So here's the direct edition. This is Silver Surfer Volume 3, issue number 87. Okay. I already have at least one issue of that. But these two I do not. We have Silver Surfer Volume 3, issue, this is 110, and issue 111, which for a black cover, it looks pretty clean. So getting a little closer to finishing my Volume 3 run. Silver Surfer is also one of that titles that I'd love to go all the way back to Volume 1. And I think that's doable with this particular character, but it's not a priority right now. We have Fantastic Four, issue number 9. This is the, I'm not sure what volume this is, but this finishes out the volume. This was a really short volume, started with Marvel Now. So that finishes that particular volume for me. We have, this is volume 2 with Jim Lee, Brandon Choi, issue number 11. I think I'm down to 3 or 4 books on that one. And then I wasn't planning on buying this. I'm not really looking for it, but it is a Fantastic Four title. And I think Fantastic Four right now is a really good time to find some of these books. I mean, even in the dollar bins, and I'm not specking on these. I want to read them. I want them to be a part of my collection. But if that Fantastic Four movie, when it hits next year, um, is gold, which all the hallmarks of it being that, these books might end up spiking. And I think the Fantastic Four is going to have legs. I think we're going to see more than one movie with that particular team. So we have Fantastic Four versus the X-Men. This was an 80s title. I was able to find really clean copies of issue number 1, 2, cool Wolverine on it. Poor Franklin. And issue number 3. I just need the last issue for that particular mini-series. Okay. And then they had a bunch of Volume 1 Fantastic Four books that I needed for this particular run. With this particular run, my goal is to go from 200 to the current, whatever current issue there is. And I have most of Volume 3. There's some of the Hickman era I'm missing. And then I'm missing some of the issues just here and there in the 200s and 300s. And these are all in decent shape. So this is 281. I think this is a minor key. We have a Doctor Doom cover. This is what, 330. We have 351. 355. There we go. And 357. Okay, so it was really cool to see Volume 1 Fantastic Four in these boxes and be able to pick them up at an inexpensive price. And they were in really nice condition. That's one thing as I was going through, because of the price on these, I wasn't picking up books intentionally that had a lot of damage. I wasn't looking for a placeholder. It's either a book I wanted to add or not. We have, this is issue number 23, this Fantastic Four annual from the year I graduated from high school. This is actually an upgrade, minor key, by the way, to an annual I already have. This is Uncanny X-Men annual number 13. This is the second appearance of Jubilee, first cover appearance of Jubilee. I already have this, but it's a really bad looking copy. And on first blush, when I saw this, I went, this is an amazingly clean book. Not a high value book, but I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there it is, right there. You see right there? There is a crease that goes, I'm going the wrong direction. I want to go this way. Anyway, there's a crease right there. Right? I'm looking backwards. right here. Oh, anyway, you saw the crease, right? Um, so it does not, there's some color break up here. Um, it's not going to be a huge money book, but it is an upgrade. And then there was another Uncanny X-Men volume annual. This is number 17. Anyway, so those are my books from the Midwest Comic Con. Again, really cool dealer con. If you check out their website, just Google Midwest Comic Con. They're all throughout the Midwest, Illinois, Wisconsin. And if you're in the area, you know, this is not something I would drive very far to. I know they have some shows a couple hours away down in Fort Wayne. I would not drive to Fort Wayne for this con. But the other side of South Bend, which is just 30 minutes away, I would totally do it. It's well worth it. I spent 2 hours there, had a lot of fun going through boxes, seeing what was there. And the nice thing about it was there was another show on the south side of South Bend that pulled away a lot of people. There was at least one dealer that wasn't there. I overheard people talking about. Um, and so there wasn't as many people in the way, and it was just kind of nice on a Saturday afternoon, going through long boxes, making a stack, not having to make space for other people, take my time with things. You know, usually when I've been here in the past, I might be there for an hour and a half. So I was close to 2.5 hours. And it was a fun deal, and it was free. So if you enjoyed listening to me to ramble on about comic books, please do subscribe, hit the bell in the corner, leave a comment, and you will get notifications whenever I am ready to put out some more content about comic book collecting and talking about it. So thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to read more comics.